I'm Jay Jackson. Welcome to WineNewsNoir.com. Thank you for watching and subscribing. We begin this episode in Los Angeles, where wine lovers gathered for the massive Uncorked Wine Festival. It draws a diverse crowd of wine lovers, but when it comes to winemakers, not so much. Janine McKay and Juliette Sosa have joyfully watched the slow and steady growth of African-American winemakers at tastings such as Uncorked Los Angeles. Their brand, Till the Last Sip, has inspired other winemakers of color to jump in the game.
This week, the Supreme Court handed down a series of landmark decisions surrounding voting rights, religion, student loan forgiveness, and affirmative action.
But they've also been closely watching the recent backlash to efforts to promote diversity in state and corporate institutions. The recent Supreme Court decision to strike down affirmative action at Harvard and North Carolina, Florida's push to whitewash their history of slavery, and Texas leaders banning diversity, equality, and inclusion, or DEI, have these two winemakers very concerned.
I mean, it's annoying. It's extremely, it pisses me off because why take us out of schools when we are just as included in this world as everybody else? It's important to learn about Black culture. It's important to learn about entrepreneurship, whether it's brown or Black people. We are included. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay.
And plus, we built this country. Yeah. Bottom line.
That same concern haunts Flow Wine's creator, Marcus Johnson. I caught up to the lawyer/musician/winemaker in Atlanta. He says corporate America has a duty to promote diversity.
You are actually breaching your fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders when you don't have diverse and different cultural thought perspectives, because those are the people that are coming into your stores and buying the product. So it's not just about equity and being diversity of the people because of just race, but it's these things that you want as a total perspective. You need everyone's different perspective, because when you get those pieces of the puzzle, it's awesome. But when you don't have them, there's a missing piece. And then people have been wondering why has the growth in the wine industry stagnated in some places, and it's because there's an entirely different sandbox of people demand that you can go after, and we're it.
Of note, not a single one of the half-dozen white-owned wine brands I talked with at Uncorked LA wanted to talk on camera about the subject, DEI. But off camera, they did use terms like, as long as the wine is good, skin color doesn't matter, or I don't even see race, or only the wine matters, completely ignoring the troubling fact less than 1% of winemakers are African Americans, although African Americans make up more than 10% of wine consumers. Dwight File is the director of DEI at Total Wine & More, America's largest wine seller. He says DEI is central to the company's growth.
So what we want to do is try to drive that up, ensure that we see people that look like us, hear different perspectives, embrace each other's culture, and grow from there.
The powerful Association of African-American Vintners has a new vice president. Krishan Lampley, founder of the popular Love Corkscrew brand, will take over from Lou Garcia, who is a charter member of the organization. I talked with Lampley just before the announcement about what new winemakers should know.
Be resilient. This is an industry that still does not look like you. It's still extremely difficult, and there's so many moving parts. So be resilient and be dedicated. It's not as easy as you think it's going to be, and it's not just about drinking wine. It's not as sexy as you think.
Congratulations and some great advice. In Atlanta, Georgia, the Hue Society's Wine and Culture Fest celebrated its 5th year, and it was bigger than ever. One thing became clear: the future of wine is women. Every industry has power players, and in the Black wine community, few have more power than Robin McBride. She and her sister, Andrea, are the founders of McBride Sisters Wine, famous for their Black Girl Magic, which made it the largest Black-owned wine company in the country. McBride was a guest speaker at the Hue Society's 5th annual Wine and Culture Fest in Atlanta, where it's clear Black women are at the forefront of the Black wine space.
I kind of feel like Black women are the power players in this space, and I'm not ashamed about that. We're really cultivators of community, I think, which is key to why we're able to be so successful in this space. And also just, advocates of each other, and there's true friendships and sisterhood that we've all developed over the years. So it's just one of the many opportunities that we have to be supportive and to come together and showcase our wines and our services and bring our communities together.
I'm working through that, ma'am.
Fern Stroud is another titan at the event. She's the founder of Black Vines, whose annual wine festival in Oakland consistently ranks as one of, if not the best festival in the country.
It's amazing how when black women come together, what can happen. And so we understand we birthed this nation. And knowing our power in that, knowing that we can do everything and anything that we put our minds to, it just comes into action and you get to see it. So this is the visualization of what a black woman is and what we continue to be to this country, to this world.
Ray Scholes was voted top sommelier in the country last year. He says when it comes to black women in wine, the world should take notice.
It's important because I feel like you see men so much all the time. And a lot of times you don't see the women highlighted in some of these bigger publications. You don't see women highlighted in these bigger, these bigger panels or conferences or examination bodies and so on and so forth. So for us to be able to congregate and actually commune with each other and celebrate those women, I think is really important to make sure that we're uplifting everyone that deserves it, because women can sometimes get so lost in the fold because they might be beautiful, or that, men might think X, Y, and Z about them, so on and so forth, and they get kind of lost in that. And just for us to be in a space where we can just talk about their merit is extremely important to mankind, honestly.
It's great to see so many of the folks that we work with throughout the year here. Everybody's gathering in celebration of Black wine and culture, and it's just a really meaningful and impactful event for us.
Of course, the Hugh Society was created by the award-winning sommelier Tahiri Habibi, who also co-founded the nonprofit Roots Fund. Scheduling conflicts prevented an interview with WineNewsNoir.com. More bad news for DTC sales, a bacteria battle that could save wine, and supermarkets go super small. Here's this month's Wine in a Minute. The mid-year direct-to-consumer wine shipping report is out, and it's not good. DTC sales dropped by 7% and value dropped 2%, according to the highly anticipated report by Sovos Ship Compliant and Wine Vine Analytics. Experts say it's another sign the DTC market is getting back to its pre-pandemic level. Researchers say a bacteria found in Spanish salt marshes could be the latest weapon to combat climate change. A mixture of the microbes was sprayed onto vine roots, then grown in a superheated lab to simulate high heat days. The vines with the bacteria mixture stood up well to the heat, while non-treated vines produced bitter fruit or even died. Safeway and Albertson supermarkets are hoping to turn the wine world around with its new Vine and Cellar program. It gives customers online access to dozens of small batch wine brands that aren't on supermarket shelves. The program is only available in California. And finally, back in Atlanta, I talked with one wine influencer who loves wine education as much as sipping wine. Monica Groves is determined to learn all she can about wine. She passed the challenging Level 1 credential of the Wine and Spirits Education Trust, or WSET, and is planning the next level soon. So she made it a priority to attend the Spanish Wine Masterclass at the Hugh Society's 5th Annual Wine and Culture Fest in Atlanta.
Today was fun. I did not realize I was going to get tipsy at 11:51, but I learned a lot about Rioja, what I like, what I don't like. And I'm really excited to go to Total Wine when I get back home and buy more bottles and go on a great adventure with friends and family and really be able to start some really great new movement when it comes to wine adventures, and really creating community around new experiences.
The first book by U.S. publisher from the wine region of Rioja.
The class focused on more than a half dozen wines, primarily from Spain's famed Rioja region, home to the mighty Tempranillo and the versatile white wine Viura. Instructor Ana Fabiano says the learning potential is endless.
I think wine education is so important because wine is a product where today you can easily get ripped off or misunderstand it. There's many authorized additives and preservatives that go into wine, so understanding point of origin and not just what is the wine you're drinking, but who is the wine you're drinking.
As for Monica, she says she loves every second of growing more grounded in wine knowledge. And like a powerful reserva, the deeper the roots, the richer it gets.
Oh God, for me as a wine influencer and education, it is really important because it gives me the tools and the foundation that I need to go out to my community and teach them more about wines, let them know that it's accessible. It's not stush. It's not something that's, beyond or above you.
You can keep up with Monica and her wine journey by visiting her website, blackgirlblues.com. Program note here, throughout the month, we will be producing other stories we covered at this year's Wine and Culture Fest. Please stay tuned. And that's going to do it for this month's WineNewsNoir.com. Please be sure to visit our sponsors on our website. Thank you again for watching and subscribing. I'm Jay Jackson. Cheers.